Guys, I am live here today. DutyRon NYPD, retired detective of 20 years. I am disgusted and disgraced at the story that I have to report to you right now. I am really, really heartbroken. Michael Valva, an NYPD police officer, arrested for murder of his 8-year-old autistic son, Thomas Velva, in Center Moriches, Long Island, Suffolk County. And I did not prepare anything for this. I just went live. I created the title. I just heard the story, and I am disgusted and disgraced by the police department and the lack thereof of social services and somebody stepping in here, because this story has a long history that I just read about. And again, I had the mic paused because I was listening to some coverage of this, and I'm telling you right now, I'm shaken by this. You can probably hear it in my voice. I am taken back by the news reports that I listened to on my way home from work, and I am just beyond myself right now. So a New York City police officer, Michael Valva, 15-year veteran of the New York City Police Department, had two boys who are autistic, and I believe there was a bunch of other children from his girlfriend. They were both taken into custody today and charged with murder, second degree, causing the death of his son, 8-year-old Thomas. Left him in a garage with 19-degree temperatures, and then called the police in the morning and said that the son fell in the driveway waiting for a bus, and that he was unresponsive. When the Suffolk County police came, he was performing CPR on his son, and I believe that he staged this whole thing. And it's just I'm telling you right now, this is, as a seasoned law enforcement professional, this hits home for me because I am a parent as well, and this really has got my heart broken. I'm devastated right now. If these allegations, which I think they are going to come to be true, Suffolk County Police did a fantastic job of making this arrest and conducting this investigation. So if anybody in here is sensitive to this type of case, I'm going to play a news report, and I'm going to be listening to it because I haven't had a chance to listen or watch any of these reports. I needed to go live about it while I had some quiet time here. There's nobody home at the house, and I want to get this out to you. So I apologize if I'm not reading the comments. But again, a New York City police officer arrested on murder, second-degree charges in the death and murder of his 8-year-old autistic son. And his girlfriend also, too, is under arrest as well with the same charges. So I'm going to play this video. If you are in any way sensitive to this, this is not going to be for the faint-hearted. This is a heartbreaking. I mean, I almost started crying when I read about this and when I heard it. Really, really has got me shaken up, guys. I'm really in a bad way over this because it's one of my own fellow police officers. I'm ashamed by his actions. He's an animal. If this in fact is true, which I have, there's strong evidence by the medical examiner and by their home surveillance cameras that he did in fact do this to his son, and there's a long history of reports about abuse. So let me play this for you guys. And again, I would encourage you guys to step out if you are if you suffer from any type of PTSD or anything like that. So let me just set this up for you guys. Again, guys, I apologize for the not being prepared here. It's just oh my God. I actually can't even get the my secondary stream that I had set up. Hold on a second. Let me just shut this down. Oh, man. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Of course, it's not working. Let me open this. Unbelievable. Not working. Oh, there it is. Got it. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not looking at the comments. Just let me get this going. 2 seconds.
Death of an 8-year-old Long Island boy. His father, an NYPD officer, and his fiance are now charged with murder. CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan live in Yaphank with more. Jennifer.
Jessica, good afternoon. Suffolk detectives say it is one of the most confusing and baffling and disturbing cases in the history of the county. We await details and the handcuffed adult suspects accused in this inconceivable child homicide. An NYPD officer and his fiancée.
I'm going to pause it on that because this is from his Facebook. That's Michael Valva, the disgusting human being here, and his girlfriend or fiance. They're responsible for the demise of this poor young 8-year-old autistic boy. And I mean, this is the look of evil right here, guys. This is evil amongst us right here. And I am sick to my stomach over this.
Accused of murdering a child. Officer Michael Valva's son, 8-year-old Thomas Valva. This morning, police swarmed the home of the say accused of murdering a child.
Poor kid.
Officer Michael Valva's
sickening
son, 8-year-old Thomas Valva. This morning, police swarmed the home of the couple on Bittersweet Lane in Center Moriches, carrying out evidence as neighbors stood by aghast.
We're happy that he's been arrested and that these children will not be abused anymore.
The father claimed he found his son dead on the driveway, that it was a tragic accident. This amid allegations of physical and mental abuse and neglect. Punishment sources tell us that included starvation, put into a cold garage for wetting his pants. A nurse assigned to the case said Thomas had bruises on his body and had not gained weight in a year.
My son Thomas was just completely...
Okay, now this is the biological mother of this boy. They are divorced or estranged from each other, and she's been fighting for years through social services. You see she's wearing a cross here. She lives close by to me, this woman, and she has been calling social services and trying to get her son help and rescued from him. And you'll hear her talk about this here briefly, I think.
Unjustly murder. There's the history was just my son Thomas was just completely unjustly murder. There's a history of long-term abuse.
We spoke with Thomas's mother, Justina, the estranged wife of Officer Valva. They have been going through a bitter divorce, and he was granted temporary custody of the couple's 3 sons. Justina Valva said she feared for their safety. She had not seen the boys in 2 years until she was called to the medical examiner's office to identify 8-year-old Michael.
Thomas was this little 8-year-old boy, my baby, who, always was joyful. How unjustly he was murdered, and right now I just need a closure. I just need a justice for him.
It appears Justina now has temporary custody of the couple's 2 other sons, pending additional family court hearings. A news briefing on the murder charges here scheduled for this afternoon. We're live in Yaphank Police Headquarters. Jennifer McLogan, CBS 2 News.
So you hear she was trying to get her son back for over 2 years, and nobody did anything about it. This is again, the social services and a full failure of the system, a full failure of the whole system, guys. Okay, I want to show you this right now. This is the subject. This is evil right here in handcuffs. This is the officer. I don't even want to call him a police officer. This is a devil. This is a guy who is an evil person, and he deserves everything that he's going to get while he's in jail. And I hope jailhouse justice gets him. This is Jimmy Secreto. I used to work with this is an NYPD, I believe, chief. I think he's a chief now. I think he's like a 2 or 3 star chief, or maybe even higher. But this guy, Jimmy, right here, I'm running the cursor over him. The bald guy on the right of your screen, if you're looking at the screen, he's a great, great cop. I worked for him as a captain, and this guy is a real cop's cop. And here he is, an NYPD inspector or chief. I think he's like a 2 or 3, maybe 3 star chief. Jimmy Secreto is a great, great guy. I don't know who this is. This is probably just a homicide detective from Suffolk County. And this is a PBA representative from the union back here. This PBA representative is what he's entitled to under the bylaws of the union until he's actually convicted. Once he is indicted, then he will be fired. So he has 30 days, unfortunately, where he'll receive pay from the police department. He'll be suspended with pay. And I'm hoping that the police commissioner makes a one-time exception and takes the pay away. And thank you to the 2 super chats that came up there. I'm really shaken up. So I apologize. This is not my regular stream. You can hear it in my voice. This case has got my cage rattled for many reasons. For number one, I'm a father, first and foremost. I'm a human being. I've got a heart, and I'm really upset over this. This little kid, at the hands of some evil couple, was brutally murdered. He had bruises all over him, this kid. And he said that the kid fell in the driveway and he was beaten, perhaps, by his father at the hands of somebody who was there to take care of him. So I apologize, guys, for not, speaking directly to you guys. I'm really shaken up by this. So thank you so much for super chats and all the love. But I'm going to read this article. So I just wanted to show you this picture. This is the NYPD taking in one of their own, this murderer. And then this is probably a Suffolk County detective, homicide detective, taking him in and walking him out of a precinct in Suffolk County. Again, I'm trying to grab my composure here, guys, and I apologize. Thank you, Dari D. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. A veteran New York City police officer and his fiancée were arrested and charged with the murder of the man's 8-year-old son, who froze to death in an unheated garage, authorities say Friday. This all happened today, this afternoon, just hours ago, the arrest. Michael Valva, 40 years old, and Angela Polina, 42, were both lived in the Long Island community of Center Moriches, were charged with second-degree murder in the death of Thomas Velva, Suffolk County Police said. The youngster was kept in an unheated garage the night before his death, when overnight temperatures dipped to 19 degrees Fahrenheit, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Geraldine Hart told reporters. The boy's body temperature when he was brought to the medical examiner's office in the hospital was only 76 degrees when doctors tried to revive him. This boy's body temperature when brought in from the residence to the hospital was 76 degrees. I mean, this is beyond reproach. And I've seen hundreds of murders, perhaps thousands of murders in my time. And this has got me, I am really shaken up over this, guys. And I think we all should be. This is evil walking amongst us as a New York City police officer. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy was a cop for 15 years. This is really freaking me the fuck out. The boy's body temperature was 76 degrees when doctors tried to revive him. The medical examiner has ruled it a homicide with major contributing factors of hypothermia. We believe certainly that Thomas was kept in the garage overnight preceding his death. At 9:40 a.m. in the morning the next day, the father called the police and emergency rescue and said that his son fell in the driveway while waiting for a school bus. The medical examiner ruled it a homicide. Suffolk County Police responded to the couple's home on Bittersweet Lane on January 17th, answering a report that a little boy had fallen in the driveway and was knocked unconscious. They found Michael Valva, the police officer, performing CPR on Thomas in the basement at 9:40 a.m. before the boy was rushed to Long Island Community Hospital and pronounced dead at the hospital. So this scumbag took that little kid that he killed and brought him down and staged a CPR event. I mean, guys, I'm hyperventilating here, man. This has really got me fucking twisted. Michael Valva's story was that his son was trying to catch a school bus, fell, lost consciousness, and soon came apart. His story soon came apart. As with any unattended death, the homicide detectives in Suffolk County conducted a complete investigation which revealed inconsistencies in the timing and the nature of the child's injuries as reported by his father. Stand by a second. As reported by his father. So police found the couple had extensive home security system and kept close tabs on all the children in their blended family. Valva's sons were age 6, 10, and 8. And Polina's 3 daughters were 6, 11, and 6 and 2 11-year-old twins. So she had her own children and he had his, then they were all living together. So again, you know, this is just a sickening story, guys. Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to show you just one more.
NYPD officer and his girlfriend are under arrest for the death of his 8-year-old autistic son. News 4's Long Island reporter Greg Sergel is live in Center Moriches with that story. Greg.
Jen, Suffolk police remain on the scene here of the family home on Bittersweet Lane in Center Moriches. Some of the neighbors told me a short time ago they actually witnessed the NYPD officer Michael Valva and his fiancée Angela Polina being taken from the home in handcuffs. One woman told me it was the best thing she's seen, an indication of just the disgust and sadness in this community from this turn of events. Both of those folks, Michael Valva and his fiancée, are now charged with second-degree murder in connection with the death of 8-year-old Thomas Valva last week. As I said, Michael Valva, the father, according to sources, is an NYPD cop with a 15-year term on the force, but he's now been stripped of his gun and his badge. Suffolk police have yet to be cop with a 15.
Let me just say this. This is not a cop. This guy was never a cop. And as far as I'm concerned, he's an evil, devil, criminal. I will never call him a cop. This guy was never a cop. And I'm astonished that this guy was 15 years on the job. God only knows the horror that he inflicted on the public. Who knows what kind of a cop this guy was, but at the end of the day, I have no love for somebody like this. Could take a poor young little human and an autistic boy and abuse him to the point of his death and having him in 19 degree temperatures in his garage. Fucking piece of shit.
Year term on the force.
I'm sorry for the language, guys.
Stripped of his gun and his badge. Suffolk police have yet to detail exactly how he allegedly killed his son. Initial reports indicated the boy had fallen in the family's driveway, but it appears that story was quickly discounted by investigators, and they launched a homicide probe that led to these 2 arrests. Now, neighbors confirm that 8-year-old Thomas Valva was a child with autism. His parents are going through a bitter divorce. He lived here with his dad, we're told. We did speak with his mom, his estranged mom, at her home in Valley Stream. She was in tears as she told us that her son had been abused at the hands of her estranged husband for a number of years.
I just wish
This poor woman, my freaking heart breaks for this lady. She was trying her best to get the kid away. She sounds like she's a foreigner. I don't know where she's from. We'll find out. But it sounds like she was trying her damnedest to get her son taken away from this evil monster without any results.
I just wish I had more time with him on this earth. I wish somebody helped him. When was the time?
She told us that her son had been abused at the hands of her estranged husband for a number of years.
I just wish I had more time with him on this earth. I wish somebody helped him. When was the time?
Again, the specifics on exactly what happened and why in connection with the death of the 8-year-old have yet to be detailed by police. They're holding a news conference.
Again, that was a GoFundMe. I will go and link up to this GoFundMe, and I'll put it in the description of this video. I implore everyone to go and contribute to this GoFundMe for this poor family. Again, 2 years of trying to get this kid away. The system has failed again, and we're going to hear more about this. I'm going to cover this. I'm going to look into the all the things that should have taken place to protect this poor child, defenseless, autistic young 8-year-old. Is disgraceful.
Later this afternoon, neighbors here, though, are outraged even more because they say that Thomas Valva's dad had set up a GoFundMe page and collected $14,000 for the burial of his son. One woman saying to me today, how could a father do all of this and not care about what happened to his child? That's the big question. We're still trying to find an answer to.
Wait a minute.
Afternoon. Neighbors here, though, are outraged even more because they say that Thomas Valva's dad had set up a GoFundMe.
Whoa. Am I hearing that right? That this cop set up a GoFundMe to pay for his son? Because don't forget, this happened last week. It was the 17th. It was January 17th that this little boy was killed. And it was not... they conducted this investigation to get all good evidence to charge him. So now, am I to understand that this father, this cop, this set up a GoFundMe knowing that he killed his son? I mean, I'm not saying don't contribute to the GoFundMe, but let's hold on to this and look at where those funds go before anybody donates to it. So I would say, yes, let's hold up on that and let me look into it. Because like I said, I did no research on this, guys. I heard this news story in my car, on the radio, on the way home. So we're going to hold off on that. Let's not make any judgment because maybe it is set up to go to, but I doubt it. So $14,000 was already collected. Hopefully GoFundMe can seize that account and maybe redirect that money to his biological mom so she could bury her son, because she's going to have to bury her son. But let's just hold off on any judgment on that. I will do my homework on it, and we will. Like I said, I'm watching these reports with you guys. I didn't view these reports.
GoFundMe page and collected $14,000 for the burial of his son. One woman's conference later this afternoon have yet to be detailed by police. They're holding a news conference later this afternoon.
What a scumbag.
Neighbors here, though, are outraged
created 5 days
because they say that Thomas Valva's dad had set up a connection with the death of the 8-year-old.
Hold on.
Have yet to be detailed by
police.
police.
Hold on. Look, it's with great sadness that I must bury my 8-year-old son. He passed recently due to a tragic accident. At this time, I'm not able to handle these unforeseen costs on my own. And if there is any help anyone can provide would be greatly appreciated. In lieu of floral arrangements, we ask that donations be made instead. Thank you for your sympathy. Are you fucking kidding me? This has got to be an extra charge against him, of some sort. I mean, oh my God. This just gets worse and worse the more I look at this. Holy shit.
They're holding a news conference later this
Oh
afternoon.
my God.
Neighbors here, though, are outraged even more because they say that Thomas Valva's dad had set up a GoFundMe page and collected $14,000 for the burial of his son. One woman saying to me today, how could a father do all of this and not care about what happened to his child? That's the big question we're still trying to find an answer to. For now, we're live in Center Moriches. I'm Greg Sergel, News 4 New York.
Such a
God.
New at 11, an NYPD officer and his girlfriend are under arrest for the death of his 8-year-old autistic son.
The
News 4
audio's
Long Island
low on
reporter
this.
Greg
I
Sergel
can't
is
fix
live
it.
in Center Moriches with that story. Greg.
Jen, Suffolk Police.
I think this is the same
Lived
story.
here with his dad, we're told. We did speak with his mom, his estranged mom, at her home in Valley Street, connection with the death of 8-year-old Thomas Valva
This is
last
just
home
another-
on Bittersweet Lane in Center Moriches. Some of the neighbors told me a short time ago they actually witnessed the NYPD officer Michael Valva and his fiancee Angela Polina being taken from the home in handcuffs. One woman told me it was the best thing she's seen, an indication of just the disgust and sadness in this community from this turn of events. Both of those folks, Michael Valva and his fiancee, are now charged with second-degree murder in connection with the death of 8-year-old Thomas Valva last week. As I said, Michael Valva, the father, according to sources, is an NYPD cop with a 15-year term on the force, but he's now been stripped of his gun and his badge. Suffolk police have yet to detail exactly how he allegedly killed his son. Initial reports indicated the boy had fallen in the family's driveway, but it appears that that story was quickly discounted by investigators, and they launched a homicide probe that led to these two arrests. Now, neighbors confirm that 8-year-old Thomas Valva was a child with autism. His parents are...
Let me say something. The other children are safe. I believe the biological second autistic son is with, it got medical attention, is with the biological mom, the blonde woman that was distraught. That's the mom, biological. So he's with her. So she got, after all of this, she got one of her sons back, and the other kids on his fiance's side, who she's arrested too for second-degree murder, they're all in custody with with family members or child services. Place them with in a safe environment. I would hope. All right, so yeah, guys, I'm just going to ask you to keep the comments. I'm all amped up, and I know everybody is, and I know you all mean well by it, but don't ruin my stream by putting a lot of cursing in there. And I get it. We're all pissed off. So I'm just going to ask you to just not put those comments in the chat,
through a bitter divorce,
and let's just watch the rest of this.
With his dad, we're told. We did speak with his mom, his estranged mom, at her home in Valley Stream. She was in tears as she told us that her son had been abused at the hands of her estranged husband.
Neighbors did witness and reported. I'm going to tell you this. I did hear on the radio, on the car radio, 1010 Wins. And I watched the news conference from the Suffolk County Police Commissioner. I'm going to play that next. In the news conference from the Suffolk County Police Commissioner, they said that there was a wellness check called in by an anonymous person or a neighbor, or I believe they said anonymous wellness check. Or no, they said a family member. A family member called and requested a wellness check on the boys in May of 2019, May of this year. The police responded. There was nobody home at the time, so they deemed the call to be no follow-up. So there was, perhaps from what I heard from that news report, there was nobody home at the time. They came to the residence. The family was completely gone. They were in Queens County for the day. And that's what I heard through the news conference, that there was a wellness check. The police responded, nobody was home, and there was no follow-up, which to me is ridiculous. So that's what I heard as far as that. And this woman, the biological mom, was trying for 2 years, and she sounds like she's from another country or an immigrant of some sorts. And maybe she was just, blown off by the authorities when she was making her complaints. I don't know. These are all speculations on my behalf. I don't know what happened to all of her complaints, but she obviously has been trying, and now she has a dead son. So this is horrible.
I just wish I had more time with him on this earth. I wish somebody helped him. When was the time?
Again, the specifics on exactly what happened and why in connection.
All right. I can't look at that again. Can't. This is just raw footage from the outside of the house. It's just going to be loud car noise. I'm going to lower that. This is just showing the detectives outside the house. Just hear a lot of cameras going on. These are detectives going in and out of the house. Looks like a beautiful home in a very nice, affluent neighborhood. They're collecting evidence. These are the crime scene lab people. That was from the New York Post. Again, like I said, guys, I'm beyond myself, and I apologize for my language in this broadcast. And I know that I helped to amp some of you guys up, but I take full responsibility for my own broadcast. And I've never gone live and have not. I wasn't prepared for this. My emotions got the better of me. And again, this is a filthy, filthy animal. This guy is. This is the devil walking the face of the earth. And God only knows how many more parents or guys or gals that are out there. Don't forget, there was a woman involved in this too. So it's not, I'm just highlighting this guy because he was a New York City police officer. He did the job that I did for so long. And, don't forget, there's two people involved in this. There's his wife, or his fiance, as they referred to her, and him. And these poor kids, there was two 11-year-old twins from his fiance, and they had audio and video on the inside and outside of the home. So the detectives and the investigators, they have all of that evidence. Again, guys, this has gotten the better of me. This has really fucked up my whole day because I was on my way home, and when I saw this and I heard the audio, I turned on I put my smartphone in the holder, and I watched on Facebook. News 12 had the press conference. I'm going to try to look for that, and then I'm going to end this. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to just type it in: press conference, Suffolk PD. Let's see if that comes up. Yeah, here it is. All right, I'm going to play this and then we'll wrap. All right, guys? Let me play this and we'll wrap.
Charged Lewis Coleman III, kidnapping.
This is not even it. For frick. What the heck? Hold on, guys. Give me 2. Press conference, Suffolk PD, arrest of NYPD. It's got to be on here. It's not. Why the hell can't I find it? I watched it on my way home. Hold on a second. That's not it. All right, guys. Maybe it's better that we don't watch it. Hold on a second. I know I saw it. Just where I can find it is beyond me. Okay, I got one other place going to look. Okay, here we go. I think I found it. This is where I watched. It's got to be here somewhere. What the hell am I seeing here? Oh, okay. It was right here. I got it. I got it, guys. Here it is. All right, ready? Shit, it's 8 minutes long, though. Do you guys want to see this 8 minutes? You guys want to see it? Let's see. Why can't I show it? Why is it not showing? All right, I'll let you hear the video, the audio of it, because it's not playing the video. I don't know why. Oh, okay, that's why. Here we go. This should be it. Why is it showing a black screen? God. Technology. Okay,
an active
here's the audio.
And there's certain information we're not going to be able to discuss. Thank you. Commissioner?
Thank you, Dawn. Good afternoon.
Audio gets better in a second.
Before we begin, I want to express my sincerest condolences to Thomas Valva's family and friends, especially his siblings. We are here to discuss the arrests of Michael Valva and Angela Polina for the death of Michael's 8-year-old son, Thomas. The couple has been charged with murder in the second degree because they engaged in conduct.
This is Suffolk County Police Commissioner.
Risk of death to this child. Thomas Valva was subjected to freezing temperatures in the home's unheated garage overnight when the outside temperature was 19 degrees. We first responded to 11 Bittersweet Lane in Center Moriches on January the 17th at 9:40 a.m. after Michael Valva reported that his son Thomas fell in the driveway while waiting for the school bus an hour earlier. Michael indicated that his son lost consciousness after the fall, but has remained unconscious. When the officers arrived, Michael Valva was performing CPR on his son in the basement. Thomas was transported to Long Island Community Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. At the time of his arrival at the hospital, Thomas's body temperature was 76 degrees. As with any unattended death, homicide detectives conducted an investigation which revealed inconsistencies in the timing and the nature of the child's injuries, as reported by his father. We have determined Thomas was never in the driveway that morning, and he suffered head and facial injuries that were not consistent with the father's account. During the past week, homicide detectives conducted a round-the-clock investigation, which included the review of video and audio recordings captured on the family's home surveillance system, both inside and outside the house. The recordings show the pair was closely monitoring the activities and conversations of their 6 children, Michael's 3 sons, ages 6, 8, and 10, and Angela's daughters, 11-year-old twins and a 6-year-old. We believe that the 10 and 8-year-old boys were subjected to punishment including food deprivation and exposure to extremely frigid temperatures. We are still investigating the extent of the abuse and if it extended to all the children. Following Thomas's death, the department notified Suffolk County CPS and assisted in the emergency removal of the other 5 children on January the 17th. The children are currently in a safe environment. These arrests are not the end of the investigation. We are still processing evidence and conducting interviews. This case has hit our department hard, even the most seasoned detectives. I would like to thank our homicide squad for their countless hours in seeking justice for this little boy. I would also like to acknowledge and thank all the agencies that assisted us in this investigation: the New York City Police Department, the East Moriches School District, the FBI, the Department of Social Services, the Medical Examiner, and the District Attorney's Office. I'll take any questions that you might have. So the Medical Examiner has ruled it a homicide with a major contributing factor of hypothermia. Just one at a time. So it's under investigation, but we believe certainly that Thomas was kept in the garage overnight preceding his death. That's under further investigation. So the father was, as I said, conducting CPR on the child in the basement of the house. The garage that I'm referring to is attached to the house. It is unheated and unfinished. Sure, certainly. So I will tell you that an event of this magnitude, the death of a child of this age, is just unimaginable to all of us as parents, as a mother. I can tell you that we are going to look at every interaction that this child had with the system, and we're going to follow through and make sure that we investigate every avenue.
Have you been able to substantiate these abuse claims that this has transpired for some period of time?
Again, that's all part of this investigation, and we're going to continue to look into that. No, we're not. But I can tell you that I have been in constant contact with the Commissioner of the Department of Social Services. We're working closely together to make sure that we are investigating every avenue and every contact that this family had with services.
Commissioner, what does your father do for a living?
He's a New York City police officer. So I have examined our calls for service to that house since the time that they moved in, and we had calls for service that involved the custody arrangement of the family. We had one, check the welfare, which we responded to in 2019, May of 2019. And when we did respond, the family was not at home. We talked to the neighbors, and they had said that the family was in Queens at the time.
No follow-up. So let me pause this for a second.
So
all right, guys and girls, anybody that's been timed out, just understand it's just not good for the live stream when you curse on it. So let's just keep it somewhat civil. We already are all in agreement that this guy is a scum piece of dirt. We respect all of our law enforcement. I have a tremendous respect for the brothers and sisters in blue that do the job the proper way. This is conduct while off duty. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this guy could have been a great police officer. I don't know anything about him, nor do you, nor does anybody in this chat. So he could have been a great police officer, but this now drowns out everything that he's ever done that's good, because now he is a monster in all of our eyes. He's killed an autistic, his son, his flesh and blood. And then he purported to try to revive him. So this is the making of a devil. This is sick and depraved behavior. So at the end of it all, guys, we have to get calmer heads and prevail, and hope that the justice system the wheels of justice will take care of him and jailhouse justice. He's not going to have a good time in jail as a police officer. I'll tell you that.
That's part of the investigation. So we're not, which we responded to in 2019. We're working closely together to make sure that we are investigating every avenue and every contact that this family had with services.
What does your father do for a living?
He's a New York City police officer. So I have examined our calls for service to that house since the time that they moved in, and we had calls for service that involved the custody arrangement of the family. We had one, check the welfare, which we responded to in 2019, May of 2019, and when we did respond, the family was not at home. We talked to the neighbors, and they had said that the family was in Queens at the time.
Commissioner, you said the body temperature was very low. Malnourishment at all?
So that's part of the investigation.
Commissioner, was it clear whether he was out there one night or 2 nights? We don't know.
So we're not certain yet.
Okay, the questions are kind of low. You can't even hear it I can't hear it with my volume all the way up and an earpiece in. They were saying, how long was the child left inside the garage in those 19-degree temperatures? How many nights? So they don't, she said it's part of the investigation. They also asked if the child was malnutritioned, and she said that's part of the investigation. The boy died of hypothermia. It was one of the contributing factors. His body temperature when brought into the hospital was 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Your body temperature, 76 degrees, is freezing cold. It's beyond. So he had injuries to his head. He had lots of other injuries. A complete autopsy was done, and more will come out in the days that follow. So these are questions by reporters. The reporters are being they're not mic'd up, so you can't hear it. So I'm just trying to tell you some of the questions that she's answering.
You mentioned that the 8 and the 10-year-old boys were put in the garage. There's also another boy who I guess wasn't. So we also heard that the 8 and 10-year-old boys have autism. Can you confirm that? And so were the boys with autism put in the garage, whereas the other 4 children were not?
So that's something that we're still investigating. I believe his mother had said that he had was suffering from autism.
Thank you. Did Michael Valva attempt to commit suicide last night? Was there an accident at his house?
All right, you've been watching a news conference.
Okay, so that's going to be it from here. Not too much more from a news standpoint. All right, so guys, I'm going to sign off. Again, I'll keep you guys all updated. I want to say thank you to all my moderators. Thank you to everyone who has given Super Chat, all of the members only on the channel members. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you for supporting your local law enforcement, your military. This is a very, very tough pill to swallow. As you can hear, I was really, I was shaken up, guys. Normal body temperature is in the 90s, 98, 99. For a normal human being that's alive. In the 90s, guys. If you have a temperature of 100, you have a fever. So I think it's 98 or 99. He was 76 degrees. So let me just say much love and respect to each and every one of you. Thank you for contributing. I know this was an emotional broadcast and it was fired up. So anybody that was timed out, I don't think anybody got blocked, but anybody that was timed out, again, we're all emotionally charged. It's just we want to maintain the integrity of the live stream. So guys, much love and respect from my house to yours. Make sure you share this broadcast, get this message out there. This was a difficult one for me to do because I had very little information on it and I just lit it up. I was very emotional. This is probably the most emotional that you will ever hear me at any probably given time. I was practically in tears when I was off camera. So if you watch and listen to the replay, you'll hear how broken up I was. Watch the replay and all the information is in there. The victim was 8 years old, and Thomas Valva is the victim's name. The father is Michael Valva. I think it's not Valva, V-A-L-V-A. 8 years old, autistic. Now I just want to say a quick moment of silence and prayer for this young 8-year-old. I'm going to bow my head. And guys, if you don't mind, let's keep the chat quiet. And if you want to put anything in the chat, just put a prayer emoji, no conversation for the next 20, 30 seconds while I pray silently for this boy and the remaining siblings, all the law enforcement that are involved that had to see this, and his mom and the family. So. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Much love and respect from me to you. I am going to take a break this weekend, so you won't be seeing me much on the live stream, but I will keep you up to date on this case through my comment section and through just updates on my Facebook group. So, guys, I'll talk to you soon. I'm definitely going to have a stiff drink tonight. We're going to get a car service to go out for date night tonight, me and the missus. So I'm going to definitely get a car service and have an adult beverage or two, because I'm not good over this. I'm really not good. So good night, guys, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Love and respect from New York City. Peace.